Okay, welcome back, and we're so delighted to have in the studio with us today a good friend and really one of the most amazing community servants I've ever run into, and that's our good friend, Pastor Chad McComas. He is, well, he pastors a church, but his, I don't know where you get all this. Well, I do know. The Lord puts it on your heart. He started a project called Joy Community, and it's dealing with providing housing for abandoned seniors. How in the world did you get this vision? When did this happen?
Well, I've worked with the homeless for 30 years, and I've watched as the shelters and all the things we built started filling up with seniors. And they're there not because they're necessarily drug addicts or criminals or done anything really wrong. They just don't make enough money. And so they're ending up no place to live.
Wow.
How do you live on $800 or $900 a month?
Well, in today's world, you don't.
You don't.
Yeah.
You know, you look at some of the new apartments going up around here, $1,400 for a studio? Come on.
Yeah. So you felt nudged of the Lord to do this. So what's the vision?
Well, what really nudged me also was the Bible. You know, you just read through the Bible all the time, and God says, take care of widows and orphans and strangers and the poor, and the church is supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. And so I've just been mulling in my heart for all these years that we had to create some kind of a community to kind of rescue some of these people that are stuck. And so a couple years ago, I got set free to be able to do this. So I'm focusing my attention on this, and we've got a great little group of people. We've been working on fundraising for the last couple of years. We've got a piece of land. We're getting close to opening to take the first 10. It's not very many, but it's the first 10.
Okay, so the vision is what? To provide what?
We will provide a safe community where these people can live the rest of their lives if they choose to do that. And it will be something they're not going to get pushed out of. They're not going to have the rent go up, the taxes go up. They can stay. And we'll provide the funding to make sure that it's a stable, safe place to be.
And you're doing this with small homes?
We're doing it with tiny homes. You know, you just can't build apartments affordable enough. And, you know,
right.
Housing Authority tries, but they can't catch up. And,
yeah.
And I don't want government funds. I learned that lesson.
The hard way.
Fool me once, yeah, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I'm not going to do that again. But we've raised almost a little over $500,000 with just private donations. Mm. You know, widows, widowers, individuals, churches, businesses, foundations. That's what we're doing.
All right, so tell us about the piece of property. How did you get it, and what are you doing down there?
So it's not that far from our studio here,
right,
Perry. There's a piece of property that we had created a campground for the homeless on a few years ago, and I knew that the owners would be very supportive, and they would probably let us use their property. And it already had all the utilities, so that saved a lot of money. Mm. You know, we don't have to go in and try to put all that in, which would cost, you know, $1 million or whatever. Mm. And I knew the city, since they already allowed a campground to be there, that they would probably be very friendly, and they were. Mm. And so they've helped us make sure that we can make it work. And so we're kind of like 3 or 4 years ahead of where we'd be if we just started with blank land.
So the services were there, you just had to modify them and move them.
We just have to connect. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how many homes can you put in there you're thinking about? I mean, you got 10, I see a few sitting out front out
there's
there.
Quite a bit of land there. You know, people say, how many are you going to have? I'll say, well, one more.
Okay.
As soon as we get to 10, we'll start adding another one, and then another one, and another one.
Can somebody buy these houses and sponsor them? Oh,
absolutely, and that's how we've gotten most of these, is we've had people that have made a generous donation, said, hey, here's 10,000, help buy one, or here's 15,000, buy one. We have all but 3 buildings that we need to open this thing, and we're getting really close.
All but 3?
Yeah.
What do you need?
I need a ADA bathroom, because the city's going to require that, and I need a community room where we can have the people meet, and I need one more microhome. And a microhome is a tiny home that doesn't have plumbing, so they'll have to go outside to a restroom and a shower. Okay. But the tiny homes have plumbing, so we have 6 tiny homes that have plumbing, and we'll have 4 microhomes that don't.
Can you add more of the ones that do?
Yes, we can add more of anything.
Okay.
It's really up to God.
Well, I find this so amazing. So how do you qualify a citizen to be in there?
Well, we're starting by looking at the biblical mandate. You know, the Bible says widows, right? And so these are people that don't have a spouse, right? And most of them, they don't have children. They have nobody to take care of them. They have no support system. So they need somebody to come alongside and hold their hand and make sure they're safe. So we're starting with that. Our first 10 are people that are all in homeless shelters right now. They shouldn't be there. We got one 80-year-old lady in the Kelly shelter. She's been there getting close to 2 years, and she's living on a bed in the middle of a room with 50 other people in her 80s. That's ridiculous. We got 70-year-old ladies. We got 70-year-old men, and they're in the campgrounds. They're in places that weren't meant to be for them, but they have no options.
Do they pay?
There will be a fee. It's not a rent, but a fee, because I really believe that you have dignity when you have something invested.
Right.
And you got some skin in the game. And another thing that we're going to do here at Joy Community is we'll create dignified income, which means we're going to have ways that they can make a little bit of money on the side, put it in their pocket. Maybe they're going to make paintings or jewelry or something, and we're talking about having a nice big garden, so we might have some vegetables we can sell out front. Just give them something that feels good about themselves. They're accomplishing something, and they got a little money to spend.
Well, it's called the Joy Community. If you're in Medford area, it's literally down the street here, maybe half a mile. And I've seen some of your homes sitting out front ready to get put in the back, I guess, ready?
Yes, we're just waiting to get all the plumbing in, the sewer and the water, and then we'll start placing the homes. And the city has allowed us to make it like an RV park, which helps us get around a lot of different codes and things. So the houses actually will plug in like an RV to a post. So that's where your electricity, your water, and your sewer is.
Okay.
So then the tiny house is not really a house, it's an RV.
It's a mobile.
Even though it's not. I mean, they're all stick built. People
But
say,
they're
well,
portable.
people say, yeah, can't you take an RV? Well, RVs break down, and they're hard to maintain and fix. And so we're doing stick built. That will last, and we can fix them.
Do you have a company that's building those that people can?
We're getting them all over the place, wherever we can find them. We got 3 from Grayback Industries that they had built for some of their forestry people. They were going to do a camp out at Rocky Butte.
Yeah.
They built 10 of these. There's a picture there, Terry. And they didn't use them, so we found out about it. We went out to them, and I said, would you sell me 3? And they did, and at a great discount, which was really nice. So we've just gotten a lot of people on board, giving donations here and there and making it work.
Okay, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can get a hold of us. Our website is Set Free Services, setfreeservices.org. Or you can also go through joycommunityoregon.org, goes either way. And phone number is 541-773-4004. We just would love to chat with people. We're getting churches on board. This will cost more than what the people with the fee they pay won't cover the cost of.
No.
So it'll be the sponsors. We got a number of people already giving $25, $30, $50 a month to make sure that we can keep these people safe. And we're excited about it. We're going to have community activities, meals together, maybe field trips, make life fun.
Is it fenced in?
It will be. It is fenced, yes.
Yeah, it was from the previous activity, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't, but it is now.
Oh, it is now. Okay.
It is now.
Okay.
And we're going to make sure these people feel really safe.
So if somebody wanted to buy a unit, what would you recommend? I mean, roughly how much would that be if somebody listening today wanted to help you buy a unit or maybe 2 units?
Yeah. The micro home that I need to finish off our tiny homes, it'd be about $15,000 by the time you build it.
Okay, so they come out and build it right on the site.
We have a contractor that will build it right on the site if somebody will sponsor that money.
But they are on...
Or they could come build it themselves. Maybe a church would like to come out and build one together.
You have the plans.
Well, they're very simple.
Yeah, okay.
It's pretty easy.
Well, 4 walls, a roof, and a door and a window.
Yeah.
Okay.
And heating and, electricity and air.
All right, check it out, setfreeservices.org. That's one place you can go. There's a picture of that landing page. Let me encourage you to seriously look at this. Now, Chad's been around a long time doing this. He's done it at all levels in the community. But in his experience in the years gone by, something stood out, and that was the elderly. I never thought of that.
Well, you've always talked about people being taxed out of their houses.
I do.
And it's happening.
It is happening. I'm very passionate about that. People on fixed income are just literally falling off the face of the earth.
I had a DHS worker call me about a year ago. She had a 90-year-old gentleman who owned his own mobile home in a mobile home park. He bought it 40 years ago. Mm-hmm. But the rents keep going up, space rents, and his taxes keep going up. So now he's priced out of his own home. So he's going to lose his own home, because he can't pay the
See,
taxes and the
yeah.
rent. And then she said, "Where's he going to go?" I said, "I don't have anything yet." But
Well, check it out. Go to joycommunity.org, I guess, or you can go to setfreeservices.org and check it out, featuring Joy Community. Check it all out. This would be a great project for your church or maybe your organization. Buy one of these homes. Go out there and make it, maybe, men groups and churches. Why don't you guys, put together the funds, the means, the material, go build one of these. And let's see if we can get you 10 or 15 popped up out there.
that would be great, because we have over 100 on our waiting list.
Really?
Yeah. And it breaks my heart, because even coming here talking to you, Perry,
Yeah.
I hate to do it in some ways, because then people hear about it and then they know somebody who needs it, then they call us.
And you can't
And
provide.
I can't do a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that frustration. All right, get a hold of them, setfreeservices.org. You go to Joy Community. You can Google that. That'll come up. I would suggest you get a hold of Chad, take a look at it. Your organization, perfectly consider taking on one of these homes. Doesn't take much. Maybe you can buy one and just have it delivered, but I think it'd make a great project. Families can do it. Organizations can do it. Men's groups can do it. Build more of these. So thank you, buddy. Good to see you.
Always good to see you.
Thanks for your
God bless you, man.
your obedience to the Lord.
Well, we have to be that way.
When I get to heaven, can I come visit your mansion?
Yeah, we're going to visit each other, okay?
Okay, all right, we'll grab that.